Wukong is a character that is present in many stories and video games. As most of you are aware, Wukong is in Warframe, the game that has built my channel. If you are not from Warframe, welcome to a new style video, a video where I will be looking at Wukong. Not Wukong in a game, but the myth behind this beloved character. Now before I begin, I would like to say that I hope anyone who is from my Warframe community will enjoy this video too. I put a lot of time into this, so I hope you enjoy. And to everyone else, this video will be about the mythology and other things surrounding Wukong. Now let's get into it. Sun Wukong, also known as the Monkey King, is from Chinese mythology. Although Wukong can be called Chinese mythology, he is best known from the novel Journey to the West, which was created in 1592. This blended in religion and mythology. This book is based around other characters, with one of the main ones being Wukong obviously. But this is also based around mythology and Buddhism. So before we get into Wukong and his character, we have to talk about this novel and how it came to be. As I mentioned, Journey to the West was created in 1592, during the Ming Dynasty. This novel was written by a guy named Wu Cheng'em. Let me quickly point out that I am not great at pronouncing these names, so let me apologize ahead of time. I'm going to try my best. Which is why every time I will say these names, I'll have it pop up on the screen too. Now, we could get into this author, but there isn't a lot of interesting points with him, relating to Wukong at least, but he is acknowledged as the main author of Journey to the West, which gives him most of his popularity. He was born in 1506, becoming a novelist, poet, and politician during his time during the Ming Dynasty, where he eventually died in 1582. If this is true, this means he died 10 years before the book came out, the book that he's famous for. If these years for his birth and death are true, then it would make him 76 years old, rare during that time, but his birth and death are uncertain. Now that's enough about the author, let's get into Wukong and how he became such an iconic character. I promise this is the last time I'm going to say it, but Wukong first appeared in the novel Journey to the West, which is told to be based on the 7th century pilgrimage of the Buddhist monk Zhang in 602 to 664, where he traveled to India in search of sacred text. Now, as I said before, there is some Buddhism in this novel, which is because of this Buddhist. There are gods from Buddhism in this novel as well, which we will get into later. However, we only talk about one. This novel wasn't just created to spread the religion around, the text or story has a hidden meaning, this one having a moral meaning of an individual's journey to enlightenment. So that's the basis of the novel, how it came to be. This is where Wukong came to be. Now, doing the research for this video, I was a little confused on where Wukong came from, since it didn't make sense to me that he just came from this book. I figured if he had inspiration from the Buddhists, he must have gotten inspiration from a monkey somewhere. But from the research I have done, Wukong was first created in this book, meaning the story of Wukong was made in 1592. The story of Wukong is a weird one, as all mythology ones can be. Take Greek and Roman mythology of Zeus and Athena as an example. Athena was born from Zeus's forehead. There are a lot of crazy stories of Zeus and Kronos being Zeus's dad, which will definitely be a video since it's just so interesting. Anywho, I brought the birth of Athena up because Wukong was born in a weird way, which was from a rock. Yep, no mom or dad, just a rock. The story of this rock goes like this. There was a magical rock on top of Mount Huago in ancient time. Then a stiff breeze blew upon the rock, causing a monkey to burst from the stone. Now, how did this rock come to be? I don't know. Why a monkey? I don't know. This is mythology. This monkey Wukong was able to walk and speak immediately. How did he learn to speak? Again, this is mythology. We don't know. When Wukong first opened his eyes, golden beams of light shot from them, which pierced the clouds and startled Jade Emperor. This is an important character, so expect him to be talked about a lot too. Although this never happened before and is very strange, the guy didn't think twice about it. He saw a monkey from where the beams came from and just went, huh. Weird. By the way, he's in heaven. I mean, not dead, but he lives in heaven. And I guess I wouldn't believe a monkey did it, but I still think I would want to know what happened and go towards the monkey to see what beam of light just pierced the clouds. Now, of course, being born from a rock, Wukong was a lonely, magical monkey, so he wanted to find other monkeys. Thankfully, he found ones that looked like him. He discovered other monkeys and lived with them, eventually becoming the king through a game that they made. This game was made by all of the monkeys, and it was simple. Jump through the waterfall, and whoever finds the stream source becomes king of the monkeys. Wukong, of course, bravely did it, and found the source, becoming the Monkey King. And to be clear, he really didn't just make himself king. He was supported by other monkeys, and they wanted him to become king. Other stories that I found said he found an iron bridge over rushing water, made it their home, and made himself the handsome Monkey King. This should all be through the same book, so I don't understand how there are two different stories, but they both kind of have the same ending, which is he's the Monkey King. That's all you need to know. Now, remember he was born from a magical rock and shot beams of light that pierced the clouds? Well, he's also insanely strong. Very, very, very strong. He also has the ability to transform into 72 different animals and objects. Each hair has transformative powers, and if this wasn't enough, he could magically manipulate wind, water, and fire. This isn't all. He can travel extremely fast and has a really good memory, remembering everything. And of course, he is a skilled fighter because why not be the most powerful thing out there? Because of his abilities and skills, he pretty much just went on a rampage. Oh, and since I said rampage, I should probably tell you how this character is. He's told to be ignorant, short-tempered, impatient, and often angry. But spoilers, he isn't always going to be this way. Now, as one does, he went on to battle the Dragon King and other sea demons, after naming himself a powerful forest demon. Because of these battles and his skills or talents, he was able to collect some things that is now a part of his character. You can see a lot of this stuff in the new game Black Myth Wukong. Some of these items being his signature and magical 8-ton staff. Yes, 8 tons, which is 16,000 pounds. So he's basically picking up a semi without a trailer and swinging it around like nothing. And you thought Captain America was strong. Now this staff can also shrink to the size of a needle, which is what Wukong does often so he can store it in his ear. Now that's pretty cool. His staff can change size, elongate, fly, and attack its opponents. So his staff can get large, like really large, with an example of his staff reaching the moon from Earth, which makes it 238,900 miles long or 384,403 kilometers long. But this isn't even said to be the max. He just did this once, I guess. He can also make it lighter or heavier. Again, without a limit it seems. Besides the staff, he also collected and has his gold chainmail shirt, a phoenix cap, and cloud walking boots. With all that Wukong has done, easily defeating kings and demons, he became more powerful and so on. Yang Wang, the king of hell, as well as other kings of hell, decided it was time to collect his soul. However, Wukong was prepared. So he tricked the king of hell. He tricked him into allowing him to go back to Earth without being reincarnated, because he didn't want this lunatic to destroy Earth and rule it, making him this really powerful monkey with a powerful staff and other powerful items on Earth. And with how tricky and sneaky he is, he was able to erase his name and all the other forest monkeys' names from the Book of Life and Death. Because of all that this monkey has done, the King of Hell asked upon a higher being, Jade Emperor. I told you he would be talked about some more. The King of Hell talked to the Emperor about Wukong. Now for some reason, Jade Emperor thought the best way to subdue Wukong was to move him to heaven with the other gods so that he would feel important. And as you could probably imagine, this will come to bite the Emperor in the ass. So the Emperor reached out to Wukong and said, hey, come up to my palace and feel important. You'll live here now. Really putting in that positive reinforcement from defeating a bunch of demons and gods. And Wukong, of course, accepted this invite and said goodbye to his other monkey friends that he was living with. Now Wukong is excited for this opportunity because he gets to be part of the other gods and feel as if they are all on the same level. However, this is not what happens. The Jade Emperor gives Wukong a job. This job or task is the lowest task in all of heaven, which is guarding the Emperor's horses. Yikes, guarding some other animal. Wukong, of course, didn't feel that this was right, but still did it. He then noticed that the other gods did not see him as a peer, simply because he's a monkey. I guess that they just don't care he could do some incredible things. Now, at this time, it's important to know he couldn't do all of the incredible things you may have heard about, what you know him as now. Some came when he was born, but others came later. One of those incredible things being immortality. This is something that Wukong was obsessed over, so Wukong devoted himself to the pursuit of everlasting life. If you can't see it now, Wukong is becoming a problem for the gods. With Wukong already having a temper, these gods are just pushing him to fight, train, and think even harder. Now, of course, Jade Emperor did not want Wukong to pursue immortality. Why make someone stronger? But he didn't show this. He just talked to him as a friend and said, hey man, you don't want that, it's just awful, nobody wants it, just stay mortal. But this obviously did not convince him. By the way, he didn't actually say that, in case I had to make that clear. Now with Wukong being told no, he got even more upset. Can you imagine? So what does Jade do? He throws a party for his wife and doesn't invite Wukong. What a dumbass. How does Wukong know this? Well, he showed up to the party since he saw one going on, but was then laughed at by the other gods. Because of this, Wukong declared himself great sage equal to heaven. This is what he went by. In typical Wukong fashion, he placed a banner, an enormous banner, just to taunt the Emperor. Of course, my rendition of what the banner may have said isn't totally accurate, but this does seem like something Wukong would say. Anywho, what happens to Wukong now? Well, the Emperor finally did something. He sent a military unit of soldiers to go arrest him. And, of course, this did not work out well. Why not send regular soldiers to go arrest a guy who has defeated gods? Because, you know, that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, of course, Wukong defeated all of the guards. Shocker there. After doing this, he shouted,
Great sage equal to heaven, son Wukong.
But just imagine he said the actual name and not the easy one to say. Now you may be asking, what does the Emperor do now? Well, he acknowledges his power because apparently defeating gods doesn't matter. He defeated some guards. That's when you know you're powerful. And he promoted him to guard. Zhang Wangmu's Peaches of Immortality. Now how dumb can this Jade Emperor guy get? You know he loves the idea of immortality and will try to do anything to get it. So let's put him in a place called Peaches of Immortality. Now Wukong viewed this promotion as an insult. Why? Well, he felt that he was the Emperor's equal, that he shouldn't just be some guard. So it was obvious that this was, he went and ate all the peaches. Now here's the funny part, the Emperor sent another military unit of guards. Well, this time he sends 2 military units, not just the one, because surely that will do it. Oh, right. This guy has defeated gods. What were we thinking? After Wukong defeated these units, the Emperor told Buddha what happened and begged him to intervene. Like I said in the beginning, this has a heavy Buddhism influence, so a lot of this will relate and has related to this religion. Unlike the Emperor, Buddha did something that makes sense. He immediately banished Wukong from heaven and pinned him underneath a mountain so he could reflect on his actions. Kind of dumb since someone like Wukong will not reflect on his actions on his own. Now it's been 500 years of Wukong laying under this mountain when a traveling monk named Tan Senzang offered to release him. Again, not sure if I even got close. But on one condition only, that he would repent and become the monk's disciple. As the story has gone, Wukong doesn't like being under somebody or working for somebody. He of course feels he is equal or higher than this monk. I mean, he thought he was equal to the Emperor. So at first Wukong declined because, like I said, he does not want to be a servant to anyone. However, as the monk was leaving, Wukong quickly changed his mind and decided to join them. Before the monk released Wukong, the goddess of mercy, Guan Ying, no idea if I got that right either, gave the monk a magical band that granted him control over Wukong. This is the only way to keep him in check, so making it the only smart decision we've heard of. Wukong joined the monk and his other demonic companions, Piggy, known as this, and Sandy, known as this. Oddly enough, Wukong was actually grateful. So grateful to be released, in fact, that he served the monk faithfully during their entire journey to India. He battled demons for the monk, or just really himself, whenever he had to. This was the end of his old ways. He didn't want to fight because he wanted to, he fought because he had to. Tang the monk started showing Wukong his teachings. This made Wukong finally achieve enlightenment. He stopped being so angry, greedy, and envious. This is how many people know him today, as a badass, unkillable monkey that is calm and collective, able to face any adversary he comes across. That is the story of Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. Now I hope you all enjoyed this new style video. If you have any comments about what I did or what I could do differently, please let me know below. Now with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.